Doesn't seem right to me. Because they've been dumping the sewage, but apparently not fined. What's going on?
Yeah, because essentially we've got a system which is broken again, because we've got a regulator that is in cahoots, basically, or has been previously with the government, and there have been no protections. These regulators were brought in to protect consumers. They were, initiated to protect consumers. They've ended up actually existing to protect the water companies. Thankfully, now we are seeing that. I mean, again, I'm no massive Labour fan, but the stuff you don't hear about is that Labour have actually brought in a law so that water bosses could be jailed if they continue to cover up sewage dumping in our waters. And again, by the way, isn't something that happened as much prior to Brexit. I know it's going to come up a lot today. But we have got an issue here where we've got water companies who pay out billions and billions and billions in dividends to their shareholders, while absolutely just savaging our waters by just dropping.
They are allowed to do some sewage spills. This seems to be because they just don't have the capacity to hang on to. If it floods and you get a lot of runoff and so on, they are allowed to basically dump it.
In the last year, only one water company, South West, actually came out with a profit after paying its tax. They have been asking Ofwat to be allowed to increase bills marginally year after year, so that they can invest in the sewage treatment, in the infrastructure. We know it's crumbling and that mains water pipes burst reasonably often in London.
They've done that.
And they haven't had the ability to do that because they haven't been allowed to make the money. They've been losing. They have been losing money every year. You can't pay a dividend if you've got a negative income. So.
They have. We know the water companies have paid out £2.5 billion in dividends in the last 2 years, while racking up billions and billions of debt. And then they expect us to pay hikes of 21% in our water bills.
None of them are actually making any money. They have been
shareholders
asking to. They have an obligation to. That is how companies
work. What about an obligation to the consumer?
Shareholders, to a huge extent,
what about an obligation?
Hang on, don't just interrupt you. Is your point, Annunziata, your point is that the water companies can't raise money unless their shareholders invest, and they won't invest unless they get dividends. Is that right?
No, Ofwat hasn't allowed them. And I think it's a complete failure of yet another quango that hasn't been properly overseen.
Would you nationalise it? Put it back?
I think
water doesn't seem to have worked.
I would nationalise it. If they are failing and they are literally, their resource falls from the sky and they still can't make it work, then absolutely nationalise it.